Hi Scorpio, welcome to your May 2020 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those, but keep an eye out on the community section of the channel where I'll make an update if I start those up again soon. Or worst case, if it ends up being a longer break, by the time I do the June videos, I'll give you guys an update there. And as far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. And these are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Then when we get through those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And keep in mind this is a general spread. So while I'm going to refer to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as their energy, if you feel like those energies should be switched, then definitely roll with that. All right. So past energy on your side, we have the Prince of Cups. This is actually Pisces energy here. And what this could be saying is that, you might have felt very passionate toward this person. You might have actually extended a love offer to them too. Given that for you guys, Pisces is your house of love and romance. This could just be saying that you had a lot of attraction for them, and I feel like there was a bit of purity behind it as well. That's the vibe I'm picking up on there. Like you just felt a real genuine connection with this person. Past energy on their side, we have the World. So usually this card to me points to North Node, so this could just be saying that this was someone you were fated to meet, and you might have felt like this was a very fated connection when you met the person as well. Or this could just also say that maybe you just viewed them as someone who was, very well traveled. Maybe they seemed very knowledgeable on a lot of different topics. Maybe you saw them as pretty mature. That's the energy that I'm picking up on there. Just someone that you felt drawn to because they seem to have a lot of knowledge on different things. Present energy on your side, we have the Four of Staves and the Prince of Coins. So Four of Staves is actually Aries energy, but it's also more than that. It's a combination for me of Mars and Jupiter energy. So it's like taking action towards something that would be long lasting and that would make you happy, expanding something. So to me, this could just be saying that you guys are ready to take the relationship to the next level with this person. So, we still see that Prince energy, which represents Knight energy, but now you've shifted from the Knight of Cups to the Knight of Pentacles, which to me is saying, looking to take it more than just beyond like a romantic level, but also, have some stability to it. So, like, just as, let's say, the past you might have been dating, now you want to move it on to an actual committed relationship. So, that's what I see there. And present energy on their side, we have the Knave of Swords. So what I see here is that, when you do express to them that you want it to be in a serious committed relationship, it might throw them for a bit of a loop. They might not know quite how to respond initially, and, it could be because they're a bit detached. And maybe just because they're a bit inexperienced with relationships as well. That could be another possibility. Let's say that maybe part of the reason why they're so, well traveled and seem to know a lot of things is because maybe they just dedicated themselves more to like study and travel than they do actual romantic relationships, So could just be saying in that regard they might be a bit behind compared to other areas of life. So that's what I'm seeing there primarily. And this does represent communication as well though, but usually with the page energy, which is what the knave represents in this deck, page energy would usually represent there's a bit of shyness around it. So, maybe they could be just a bit surprised that you actually wanted to be in a committed relationship with them. That could be what it is. It could be someone that's a bit oblivious when it comes to romantic things. Let's put it that way. Future energy on your side, we have the Princess of Staves in reverse. So what this could just be saying is, this is interesting because it's in reverse. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Wands energy. And, when it's in reverse, on the one hand, to me, that would represent that you're not taking as much action anymore, which could just be saying that, you might feel like, all right, you made your feelings very clearly well known. and now you're just leaving the ball in their court. But what's interesting too, though, is when it's in reverse, she's actually still at least pointed in their direction. So I don't feel that it's like you're giving up on the connection altogether. It's just saying more like you feel like, okay, you've done more than your fair share to let them know how you felt, and now you feel like, okay, it's up to them to take the next step at this point, you know? And the future energy on their side, a lot of cards came up here. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Knave of Wands, the Emperor, and the Hermit. So interesting energies here. It's a weird combination in a way, but what I'm seeing here with the Four of Pentacles, usually the Four of Pentacles energy we see as like a closed off type of energy. But here I almost get like this feeling of shyness around him, right? Like it looks like he's kind of taking off her clothes a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's, super confident and overeager to do it. So to me, that represents, as far as them opening up, still a little bit of shyness there. And with the Knave of Wands, though, it does say that they will take the action. So again, like I said, if you guys might withdraw a bit and say, okay, well, I've done my part, now they're going to have to take the lead. It looks like they would step up and do so. And in doing so, it looks like they actually are very much capable of doing it because we see the Emperor energy here. But what you may find is that, they might actually really still enjoy their alone time a lot too. So it's like, okay, they might take the action, right? They might take the lead, let you know that they have mutual interest in you as well with the Knave of Wands and the Emperor energy. But then, I feel like they might just still like their alone time. So, especially with the Hermit, this could just be saying that this is someone that's constantly learning new things. So, that could be really where they dedicate a lot of their time, because in this deck in particular, this card is actually referred to as refusal, which is to say that, he's like, obviously we see these two people engaging in the background, and then he's just kind of withdrawn, and holding himself back. So that could be how they are. And maybe that's just how their energy is too, where they might feel like, by not always focusing on that area of life, that actually builds up the intensity for them, so they feel like, all right, well, if I don't always dedicate myself to that area of life, I'll actually enjoy it more when I do, so that could just be how they might view things. But yeah, I will say either way, if you do withdraw and pull back a bit, looks like they will actually, at first they might be a little bit reluctant, but I do see that quick growth there, right? Because they go from that Four of Pentacles, which seems a little shy. Knave of Wands energy is a bit more forward and aggressive. Then they go to the Emperor level. So they're, like I said, they're fully capable. But I still just feel like that's the primary thing I'm picking up on with this person is just they do like their alone time as well. So, maybe you might view that as disinterest, but I feel like that's just more of how they are. So something to think about there, right? As far as if you think you could still be with them long term or not. But bottom of the deck, on your side, we see the Ten of Cups. So, I mean, clearly it definitely looks like you see a lot of potential in this connection with this person. And I feel like you're definitely not giving up on it either. You guys are going to have Mars moving through the sign of Pisces. So this card represents Pisces energy. And so that's definitely about love and romance. So that can pick things up for you guys in that area. And then I do see that beneath that we have Prince of Arrows. So that's actually Gemini energy. And we see it's Cupid on this deck in particular. And you guys are going to have Venus in Gemini, which is your eighth house of sex and intimacy. And, obviously Mercury will be there at a certain point. The sun will be there towards the end of the month as well. So you have a lot of energy in your eighth house. So I feel like there will be a sexual spark, definitely. But like I said, it does look like you really do see long-term potential in this connection. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the King of Swords. So this could be an Aquarius that you're dealing with. They do tend to be a bit detached sometimes, so that wouldn't surprise me. But like I said, I do feel like there is interest on their part. It's just that they might just really like a lot of alone time too. So if not actual Aquarius energy, this could just be saying, pointing out how they are. They might just spend a lot more time in their mind with that swords energy and then be a bit detached because of that. All right, so moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything with the Mystic Moon Oracle deck here. And for those of you who haven't seen this type of video from me before, I actually do pre-shuffle the deck before I start recording. And then I'm just looking for some jumpers here. So first I'll be looking for any unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if we shuffle for a while and nothing's coming up, I just take that as a sign to keep moving to the next oracle deck, since it's just a general reading. Alright, so let's see if we get any unspoken messages from you to them. Okay, nothing coming up here, but I'll give it a few more shuffles before we move on. Almost have one there. Alright, nothing coming up there, so next we'll see if we get any unspoken messages from them to you. Okay, nothing coming up here either, but I'll give it a few more shuffles before we move on. Okay, nothing there, so next we'll move on to Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation here, I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here I'm just looking for one card and we'll wrap up. There we go. Oh, you guys look like we got two cards, so I guess that makes up for not getting any from the first deck, but let's see. Alright, we have Observer and Flexible, so interesting. Hopefully these both resonate with you, or maybe one might resonate with some of you, one might resonate for the rest of you, but there's the first card, and the number is 49. Okay, it says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. The Oracle's message. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So, interesting message there. I mean, the only thing I can really think of relating to the main spread with that is that, like I was saying, that maybe you'll come to realize that it's not necessarily that this person lacks any interest in you, it's just that they could be a bit detached by nature and like some alone time, so you might view that as maybe they're not interested, but I feel like that's not the case, so maybe that's what that's referring to there. The relationship message says sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take to higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So definitely an interesting message there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys as well. And then moving on to the second one, we have Flexible. There's the artwork, and the number is 19. I do have to say, Observer, that also makes me think of that Princess of Staves energy in the future position, where it could just be saying, that might be the energy that you do take on, which is to say, you know what, I'm just going to fall back and see, if they put in any work, if I'm not the one always putting in the work. And like I said, if that's the case, it looks like they will put in the work, which maybe that'll reassure you that there is interest. But and then maybe that'll help you realize too that they could just be a bit detached by nature. All right. Flexible says teachability, open mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. The oracle's message: a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure, like a building, would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now: willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. So definitely an interesting message there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. And then the relationship message says, in every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card in the reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible. You'll be happy you made that choice. So definitely interesting there. And then what stood out to me when I was talking about, you can still get your needs met, but also be able to compromise. I feel like that's more of what I was saying for those of you who maybe do realize after a while that, okay, they actually do have genuine interest, but they're just a bit detached, right? So maybe that's a bit of a compromise there where you're like, okay, well, we could still spend some time together, right? Do our thing. And then understand that they just might need a little bit of alone time as well. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. At least one of those two messages, if not both. But yeah, we'll wrap up there, guys, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.